Hey everybody, this is Sophie, and I am so happy to be here with you today. We are talking about the power of vision, and this may be a short, powerful Zoom, so stay on. And if you have questions, I'm happy to answer them at the end. Uh, Hello, everyone who's joining me. I'm so excited to see you and be with you today. Hold on, something's in my throat. So a little backstory. Why vision? So first of all, if you don't know me, my name is Sophie Mihalko, and I love to shake things up a little bit so that you can have everything that you desire. And why vision? About a few years ago, I think this was 15 years ago, I decided I wanted everything. I wanted a husband, I wanted kids, I wanted a house, I wanted money, everything you could ask for. I said I wanted it, and I wanted to have fun, my career, all of it, right? So I took a notebook. I'll always remember. It was like one of those little exam notebooks, a blue notebook. And at the end, I put like a big table with everything that I wanted. So husband, I was single at the time, husband, kids, house, money, all of it. And I put down when this was going to happen. So I gave myself 5 years to create everything. But in between, what I did in between is I put the steps that it will take to actually have this happen. So for instance, I needed to date if I wanted to be married. I needed to fall in love and, you know, decide to have kids if I wanted children, etc., etc. So everything was set up. Then I closed the book, and I think I looked at it maybe once after that. But 2 years later, I was moving things around in my new house, and I found a notebook. I opened it, and I realized that everything I had said in that notebook that I wanted had happened in 2 years. So this is not so much about the date and the timeline of things, but it has to do with setting that vision forward in motion. And it's not just visualizing. So visualizing can help, but actually for me, visualizing does not help at all. And if I'm using images from other people, because it's not mine. So I have a hard time with the visualization. The vision for me is really putting into motion what it is that I want to have and be and do. Now, let me explain this. Okay, I missed a step. Never mind. So, I forgot what I wanted to say. All right. So the vision is going to actually include a few things for it to be happening. The first thing is we need to look at our belief system, or you can call them points of views, you can call them limiting beliefs, whatever it is, that one, prevent us from having that vision, and two, support us from having that vision. Because what we want to do is we actually want to look at how much we've been lying to ourselves about how that vision is not possible, or it's going to take us some time. So we want those really limiting beliefs. And then we want to look at the beliefs that actually help us have that vision. So for instance, I have a vision of having a strong body. So one of the beliefs that supports this is that my body is my best friend and it wants what I want, right? So if I don't have the belief, if I believe that I have to struggle and convince my body and force it to be something that it's not, that's not going to help me be strong and not going to help me have my vision. So we have to be really honest with ourselves, look at the beliefs that support the vision or not. And then we only want to write down the beliefs, and we're going to do work on paper, right? On paper with our hand, writing down things, because typing it is great, but it is not it won't put it into your body as much as handwriting it. So even if you never look at it again, at least handwrite it once. Once once you write those things, once you actually put them on paper, they're more real for you, and you've almost created a new reality. What I do is I only keep the beliefs that support me. Why keep the beliefs that don't support me, right? So those points of views, those limiting beliefs that don't support me, I look at them and say, okay, they are not true. They're not correct. And I then look at what actually is going to help me. Okay, so that's the first step. The second step is the most fun part, which is the vision, right? So what is it that you want? Now, please don't go and look and tell me that you don't know, especially if you're looking at what business or what career you want. Like I work with so many people who tell me they don't know. It is not true. You do know. You just are so scared of taking one step. It's all fear. You're so scared of taking a step into a direction that you won't even start dreaming. So even if you don't feel like you know what your big vision is going to be like, you do know, you have an idea. And here's what I'm going to suggest. So let's say that you currently have a job and it's okay, but it's not great, and you would like to make more money, you would like to have more fun with it. Okay, great. So all you have to do right now for your vision is say, I'm going to increase my income by 10% or 20% or 30%, whatever gets you excited, because you have to be excited about it, right? That's it. Or you're going to say, every week, I'm going to change the life of one person. Or you're going to say, every month, I create a new art piece. Like, it's simple. Now, I know the artists in you are like, 1 a month, maybe not. It doesn't matter. Just start. Like, you need to start somewhere, because with a vision is alive. It's an alive thing. It doesn't stay, like, it's not something that gets stale. So you can change your vision as you go along. Just start somewhere. Okay, so first step was writing what beliefs are going to support that vision. Second step is, what is your vision? And third step, super easy. Why? Why do you want this? Why is it important for you? What's the what do you call it? What is the why? Like, I know Simon Sinek says that. I don't actually like this. Okay, what's the stake behind having that vision? And I'm going to explain something. So for instance, one of the first category that I look at with my clients is your body and your health. And it's funny because I know somebody just joined us today who knows a lot about body and health. But if you don't have a healthy body, how are you going to create anything else in your life, right? Like, you need to work toward a healthy body in order to have everything else. So for instance, it's so silly for me, but I'm a public speaker, and eventually I would like to do presentations of 1 hour long. Well, today I actually cannot do 1 hour long. Why? Because I cannot stand on my 2 feet for 1 hour. I will hurt. Like, my back will hurt after about 30 minutes. So it will be really challenging to do 1 hour on stage if after 30 minutes, I'm like, I need to sit down. Especially when you do the kind of presentation that I do, where I'm like on my feet moving a lot. I need a strong back. I need a strong core. So that's why the health and the body is so important to me. I have my reason, my stake behind it, okay? So first part was beliefs. What beliefs are supporting your vision? Second part was the vision. Third part was the reason why. And finally, the fourth part, which is where it all happens, the strategy. What strategy are you going to put in place to actually see this vision realized, right? So strategy can be very simple. It could be something as, I'm going to walk 2 times a week, or I'm going to drink a lot of water starting first thing in the morning. Whatever it is, you don't have to make it complicated, but you have to write down your strategy. And once again, it can change. There's no reason why your strategy cannot change, especially because you're going to start doing it, right? So if you write down a strategy, start like a small step. So for me, it was getting a chiropractic treatment. Okay, great, first step. And so I go to the chiropractor, and my chiropractor says, you have to do this kind of exercise. Great. So I do my exercise, even like just before I go to bed, it doesn't matter. But it's a simple thing. I don't have to spend 30 minutes at the gym. Eventually, I may want to spend 30 minutes at the gym, but at first, small steps. So you write down your strategy, your small steps, and as you start doing them, there will be new things that you want to go and try, and maybe you'll be increasing your strategy. So a vision is not alive. It's not going to happen unless you have a strategy. So those are the 4 steps. And the reason why I speak of this, I know what I was going to say at the beginning that I forgot to say. So why have that vision? If you don't know where you're going, you can't get anywhere. So it's like you have a car and there's so many places you can go, but you don't actually have not decided where to go. You can drive around, you can enjoy the scenery, you can find fun things, totally. But are you actually going to feel fully satisfied with where you're going? Maybe if you had asked for something. So let's say, oh, I'd love to find a bakery today. And then you drive around town for like 3 hours to find your bakery instead of planning where to go and how to get there. That's all I'm talking about. The vision is your plan on where to go and how to get there. And it is alive. It's a part of you that's alive if you include the beliefs, the vision, the strategy, and the why and the strategy. If you include all of that, it's something that's alive. It's part of you. So that's how you know where to go. And then you basically start with small steps and you just do it. And that's something that I've seen a lot lately. So Nike said, just do it. I actually read an article where it said the reason why you're depressed is because you're not following Nike's advice, which I thought was very interesting, which is just do it. I really truly feel if you feel fear, so if you are scared of something, the perfect antidote to that is one action, just one action. It could be a phone call, an email, it could be looking up something online, contacting people, whatever it is, go do it. All right. I have a few people online. So if you have questions or if you would like me to help you with your vision, I'm happy to do this now. If you just turn on your mic, you can talk. And if you do not have questions, I'm going to keep going. All right. So one of my focuses this year is business. So this is something I coach people on, and this is something I really love to be educated on. And recently I decided to re-educate myself because the last time I looked at business was maybe 5 years ago. So my marketing strategies were 5 years old. So I was like, okay, I'm going to go and look online and see what's up with business, especially when you're doing an online business. There are new things going on, so you want to check it out. Great. So I went and checked it out. And I realized that it hasn't changed much. People are still saying the same thing. I mean, there are some people that are saying new things, which I'm learning to listen to them, but a lot of people are saying the same thing. Okay. So the one thing people keep mentioning is, please know what problem you are solving. And unfortunately, I don't think that is a good question to ask. I mean, knowing which problem you solve, if you're like me and you don't think there's any problem at all in life, knowing what problem you solve, not exactly a great question. Unless you're putting your shoes in the person who would buy something from you. So why do I say that? Because I see a lot of people not creating their vision, not choosing to have a vision because they listen to other people. right? So other people are going to tell you, do Facebook Lives all the time, like every other day. Or other people are going to tell you, find your niche. Drives me crazy. Some people are going to tell you, have a sales funnel. All of that. Listen, may work for them. That's great. I have a very different personality. Does not work for me. So this summer, I really, really dug deep and decided, okay, what's going to work for me? And they say get a mentor, and actually I think that's a good advice. So what I've done is I looked at who was the richest person ever alive, and did they write a book? And I found out that the richest person who ever lived was King Solomon, and he did write a book called Proverbs in the Bible. Now, if you're not familiar with the Bible, reading Proverbs straight from the book, it can be challenging. And for me, it was. So there's somebody who wrote a book called The Richest Man to Ever Live. Or, yeah, I think it's the name of the book, The Richest Man Who Ever Lived. The Richest Man Who Ever Lived. And he explains everything that King Solomon wrote about in Proverbs. But I also recommend you read Proverbs in the Bible because it's very powerful. But it was good to read that because King Solomon actually gives a lot of business advice, and it's so good, so good. And somehow, even though, obviously he doesn't have he didn't know the marketing tools but it was great because it allowed me to go back and look at the bigger picture, right? Bigger picture. So when you have a vision, is The Richest Man in Babylon? No, the book that I read is actually The Richest Man Who Ever Lived, but there could be another book called The Richest Man in Babylon. Thank you, Peter. So when you back out and you look at the bigger picture, so people are going to tell you, if you want a relationship, you have to do this. If you want to lose weight, you have to do that. If you want to be in this business, you have to do this. That's great. Yeah, maybe. And then you go, okay, wait. Let me look at this from up here and say, okay, this is what I want. What do I know about this? How do I feel? Like, what would be fun for me to do? So for instance, this summer, I realized I have a lot of information about business, and I would love to share this information. So I created a free business class, not available in English yet, but that's coming. It is available in French. So I created a free business class in French, and I put it online, and I think I have 380 people who registered and took this class. And we've had so much fun with this class. It's been great. And it boosted my business like crazy. I made so much money because of a free business class that I've done. So nobody told me to do this. I just felt, okay, what it is that I want to do, and then I go do this. So for instance, I love working out, but a lot of times working out actually hurts because I didn't realize there were a lot of places in my body that were not set up properly before I could work out. So I had to go to the chiropractor to really get taken care of those places. And then this week I saw somebody who has not seen me for a year, and he said to me that I looked so good. Like he said, you look like you've actually been working out, which I really haven't. So it's so interesting to me how, like, when you do the things that actually feel right for you, feel like that's what you want to do, everything that you're asking for is delivered, as long as you know what it is that you want. Okay? All right. So is there any other question about vision? About the power of vision? Oh, I want to say something, because this is, a lot of people ask me this question. No, you do not need to put dates in your vision. You can if you want. So if you feel like having a date is going to push you forward, like, okay, that date is, I need to meet that deadline for me, then do it, put a date. But if it doesn't, if it gives you pressure, don't do it. Don't give yourself more pressure. It's not necessary. only put the date if it helps. What else? Who to tell about your vision. So this is something that I actually don't recommend. So you can speak to other people about your vision. I would recommend maybe you speak to your partner. It could be your husband, wife, or somebody that you are really, really close to, like somebody you do life with. But if you do not have that type of person in your life, I would say don't share your vision with people, simply because they're going to respond with their own perspective and then color your vision. So I would say you don't necessarily have to share your vision with the people around you unless it's helpful. If you need partners when your vision, like if you want to build a big business and you need partners, go ahead, share your vision with potential partners. Partners are very, very helpful. This summer, I gained a lot of partners because I realized there are a lot of things in my life I can't do alone anymore, okay? What else? What else can I tell you about vision? And if you have questions, don't hesitate. What else? Vision is awesome. Oh, the other thing I want to say is this. When you start writing down your vision, and it's something like, it's a small step from where you are. So let's say you're making 5,000 a month right now and you want to make 8,000 a month. So it's not a very big step, but you write down, I want to make 8,000 a month. And this is what I'm asking for. I know it's possible. These are my beliefs and this is why, and all of that. What's going to happen is that it's actually going to happen without really you having to think about it. So you don't, once you write your vision down, it's not so much about, I have to focus on my vision. It's not so much about that. It's like now it's part of you. And whatever needs to happen in your life to make that vision real, it's going to happen because now you've adopted this. It is really, really powerful. Oh, the other thing is, don't try to do too much. So let's say you have a vision for your body, for your relationships, for your money, for intellectual life, whatever it is. Don't try to do it all at once because then you will feel overwhelmed. Maybe like focus on 1 or 2 areas per a certain amount of time. So for me, I take 2 weeks, and for 2 weeks, I will focus on this and this area. And then the next 2 weeks, I'll focus on other areas without necessarily giving up on the first areas. Peter, did you have a question?
Yeah, kind of. Can you talk more about the why, which is that your purpose? Is that, because I always come up short with that. If I have a vision of something, what's the why? If you want to make 8,000 when you've been making 5,000, so what's your why there?
Oh, it could be that you want to travel and you have to fund the traveling, or it could be that you want to, put your kids in private school. I mean, there's so many whys that you can come up with, but it has to be a why that really matters to you. So for the body this summer, I realized that the reason why I want a body that's strong is because I want my future partner to really think I'm so hot that he has to make sure nobody gets me. And that was so fun for me to write this down. Like, my partner thinks I'm so hot, he's afraid everybody's going to steal me. That was so fun that it really motivated me to do something about my body. Does that make sense? So it's juice is the juice that's going to get you going. Because for most people, going from 5,000 to 8,000 is not that fun unless they have a really good reason behind it.
Yeah, it's not that big a jump. And it's more like, I don't know. All right, I think I get it.
Yeah. So, like, do you have an example of a vision where you don't necessarily have a why for right now?
Yeah, still on writing that book,
A book, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so here's the why that I give to people who know they have a book in them but are not writing it. So I asked them, how many people do you feel could be changed by your book?
I don't know. I mean,
let's say like 100,000 people. Okay.
okay.
So let's say when your book is published and it's out there to be read, 100,000 people are going to be changed because of your book.
Okay.
So right now, I'm going to give you this reason. Because you're not writing your book, there are people who are committing suicide. There are people who are depressed. There are people who are doing really bad things like taking drugs or cheating on their partner, all of that, because you have not written your book yet. Is that a good reason?
Okay, I can get that. I can get behind that. All right.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
Like if you knew how many people will actually, their life would be changed if you wrote that book, now maybe that's a why big enough for you to write it.
All right. Well, thank you. I think that does help. That helps quite a bit.
Awesome.
And I just wanted to say hi to Lisa since she was
I
my
know.
first Pause instructor.
I know it's been so long we haven't seen her, but yes. All right. So, it's funny. I never knew that there was a book called The Richest Man in Babylon. Okay, cool. Oh, you know the other thing about money, in case one of you wants to have more money. So I used to feel a little guilty because I was like, I don't necessarily need more money. I mean, I live well. Like money for me is not, how can I say? It's fine, but it's not a goal in itself. And then I realized, okay, let's say that I have so much money that everything around me is beautiful and gorgeous. So like I use my money to beautify my whole neighborhood, to beautify my city, to beautify my kids' schools. Like that's how much money I have, right? So if I go after that kind of money, and this is a good why, and then people will be like, where does this money come from that made this city so beautiful, this house so beautiful? Where? And then they find out it's from me. So then they go, okay, what did you do to make so much money? Then the really cool thing is that I can tell them, oh, this, like all the things that I know work for people. So for instance, for me right now is glory of God. So I can tell them that. Or if you have something like, oh, just know that being crazy is amazing, and you want everybody to know that being crazy, like being judged crazy is a wonderful thing, then when you make a lot of money, then you can go and teach people, because people are going to want to know, how did you make so much money? So for me, making a lot of money is just attracting people's attention onto me. That's it. Plus making things beautiful, which I love making things beautiful. All right. So there are a lot of really fun, cool reasons to write down why you should have the vision that you have. And I recommend you play with it, because boy, oh boy, is it fun. The other way you could look at it is say, if I don't have this vision, how would my life be? So that could be, oh, well, I don't want to die young, or I don't want to die alone, or I don't want to be poor. That could be a reason. I don't personally like that method, but if that works for you, go for it. All right. Is there any other question? So it cracks me up because I shared stuff with you guys that like I haven't shared with anybody else. So it's fun to be back on Zooms. I'm going to be making a lot more of these Zooms. By the way, they're most likely going to be around Fridays at noon Pacific time, because that's a good time for me. And I think I'm going to be doing them every other week because it's fun and I really, really love them. So if you want to join, if you want to be aware of this, make sure you are on the mailing list. And I love you guys. You are awesome. Because of you, my life is so much better. Mwah. Bye-bye.
Bye.